Okay, we're back with another episode of High Rated Edison today. Today we have WizOp817 on 1090 rating going up against Ogami Ito on 857 rating. So WizOp into the top 200 at the time of this match and Ogami sitting just outside of it. But it looks like a cool matchup, so we're going to take a look. Opening hands are Charge, Solar Recharge, Necro Gardener, Cold Wave and Arcus. So this looks like Light Swarm. Deep Sea Diva, Solemn, Yata, Honest, Alias, and Miracle Fusion. So this looks like Diva Hero Beat. Let's see how WizOp is going to start us off. So we're going to start with Deep Sea Diva, bring out Gilman, use those for Android, sets the Yata, gains 600 in end phase. Okay, passing it over now. Okay, draw for turn is Kristya, so it's Kristya-Sworn. Yeah, I mean, easy to miss that until you see one of them. So recharging the Arcus now, draws into Card Trooper, Beckoning, Mills, Celestia, Lila. Yeah, gonna charge now, Mills, Kristya, JD, Jar. Jar is interesting. Kristya-Sworn has quite a few like bad hands, so I guess Jar is there to kind of help out with those. But you have now revealed to your opponent that you're on the Kristya stuff. This is also 2 Fairies Engrave and 3 Light Swarm names, so they're doing all right so far. And they're drawn into the, and I've added the Lumina. Sorry, Lumina can obviously pitch this Gardener now. Summon out the Lila. Yeah, Lila can go after that back row, but we are going to see that actually that's just a draw trap. Draws into Hero Blast though, which is important or may come up. Sets the Beckoning Light now. M phase mill 6. Okay, let's see what that was. So it was 2. Yeah, so Yata Jar, interesting. We'll keep an eye on how many draw traps are actually on. There's Recharge, Yata, Jane, Beckoning, Lila, JD. So they now are fine for Light Swarm's Engrave. They just need a couple more fairies. They're still only on 2. Okay, pass draw for turn is Yata. So Alias coming out now. Alias going to attempt to beat over the Lumina, going to get met with the Necro. And then the Android is going to go after the Lila. I think I'd still be going after the Lumina. Maybe they're just a little bit worried about Honest, but they have an Honest. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't take out the Lumina there. Interesting. Okay, pass in. Draw for turn there is Celestia. Okay, this is good now, so they can... Yeah, what can they do? They can Cold Wave Celestia here. Maybe after you pitch, say, Card Trooper for a Light Swarm name to tribute. Yeah, this could be really good here. Let's see what Ogami decides to play it out as. So yeah, they are going to start with Cold Wave. Cold Wave Chain Beckoning. Beckoning's going to get met with Solemn. Yeah, I mean, Beckoning also there potentially for a double JD Cold Wave play would have been enough. But yeah, this Solemn is going to go off now. They're going to tribute for Celestia before they Lumina. I don't love that. But I think that was the 2 fairies they needed. So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Yeah, so this is also Kristya. Jesus. Yep. Yep. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I mean the wolf is enough anyway. But the Kristya on top that we would have seen would have just been, you know, huge amounts of overkill. Game number 2 now. Opening hands are Gauze, Card Trooper, Cyber Dragon, Herald, and Necro Gardener, the most loyal Necro Gardener. Yata, D-Prison, Miracle Fusion, Diva, Yata, and Solemn. Okay, so they are playing quite a few draw traps on this side as well. Let's see how WizOp decides to start. I'm going to start with Diva again. Yeah, I think this is just going to be reminiscent of game 1. Okay, this time they're making Catasta. Yeah, Catasta is better into Light Swarms. Just going to set the Yata. Okay, double Yata and Solemn. Yeah, I mean, it plays okay into Heavy Storm, right? So you may as well try and bait that out now. Going to main after drawing Recharge. Going to summon out the Cyber Dragon. That's going to go through. Going to make the Chimera Tech here. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Card Trooper coming down as well. Mills, Cyber Dragon, Garoth, JD. Yeah. Yeah. This is nice. So this is 39 damage. Passing. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. This hand doesn't really do anything right now. They're kind of like one Light-Sworn name away from some recharge draws to maybe unlock it a little bit. But yeah, and they've not got another fairy for the orange lights. This is just dead in hand. But, you know, their board is pretty oppressive, and Card Trooper potentially gets a draw here. So they're going to equal for the Stratos. Yata for the Rota. It's unfortunate. Stratos. Okay. Going to add the Elemental Hero Captain Gold. I haven't seen this card in ages. So if you've not seen these cards before, you can discard this card to add a Skyscraper from deck to hand, and then if Skyscraper's not on the field, you destroy this card, so you can't summon it unless you've got Skyscraper on there, and it's 21 on a level 4, so it's pretty impressive. Skyscraper, yeah, if you're not a fan of the GX anime, if an Elemental Hero monster attacks a monster that has a higher attack, the attacking monster gains 1000 attack during damage calculation only, and it's a field spell. So yeah, pretty cool card. Don't always see it in Hero Beat, but yeah, let's see how it goes. So they are going to drop the Skyscraper, then they're going to Yata into the Alias, then they're going to Miracle Fusion away the Captain Gold and the Diva. Yep, this gives them a Ab-Zero, and they can get into both of these cards now. So they're going to gain to get over the Chimera Tech, and then going to get through the Card Trooper, which draws into the Jane, which is kind of what this hand needed. Yeah, that's really good. Okay. Sets the D prison now and passes, so just for a reference, this is Solemn, Rota, Bluff, and D prison. Draw for turn there is Call of the Haunted. Okay, Ogami's got some options, but I do think you start with Jane, Pitch. Yeah, that is going to get met with Solemn. Okay. Okay. Yeah, interesting. They're just going to set the Necro and pass. Yeah, they want to get the Gauze online here. There's not a whole lot in the grave they've got for Call of the Haunted. So that does feel okay. I wonder if though the actual play is like Call of the Haunted. This is a tuner. Gets you into like a level 6 or a level 7 with Cyber Dragon, and a Black Rose here would be quite nice. Yeah, okay. Alias coming down now. Yeah, that gets over the Gardener. Stratos in. And then Alias in. Yeah, that's going to get met with the Gauze. They're going to set the Jar in response to that and pass. Draw for turn is a Decree. Oof, yeah, it's just a little bit too late, right? So one of these is going to get eaten up by the D prison. Yeah. Yeah, but they are going to leave the Gauze up. That's interesting. I think you would have rather gauzed the D prison the Gauze, but yeah. This is fine, I guess. Yeah, sets the Call, sets the Decree. We'll see how they decide to kind of play those out. Jar Greed and End Phase adds Cyber Dragon. Draw for turn is Thunder King. They're going to Rota, add the Alias. Alias coming down now, so attempt to get in. Yep, that's going to work because of Skyscraper. Stratos going to try and get in now. That's going to get met with Call of the Haunted. Bring back the Gauze. This is still enough with Skyscraper to get over it though. Skyscraper is putting in a lot of work here. And then Alias try and get in. That's going to get met with Necro Gardener. See one more turn out. Sees the Raikou. Scoops it up. Yep. Makes sense. Okay, we got game 3. This is cool. Skyscraper putting a lot of work there. So game number 3 now. Opening hands. Bottomless, Thunder King, Alias, Miracle, and Yata. JD, Card Trooper, Plague Spreader Heavy, Yata, and Celestia. Okay. Yeah. Not a great hand for game 3. Just going to set the Yata and pass. Didn't decide to fire off the Card Trooper. I guess they're worried about Cyber Dragon, but I do think you need to hurry up and get online here, and like milling a Wolf or whatever might have set you up into a Celestia play next turn. So yeah, I don't love that. Diva coming out now for Gilman. Yeah, going to get him with both now. So that's 600, yeah, with the Gilman ad. And that's 1700. Yeah, it grabs the Royal Decree, hoping for Gauze maybe, but not getting it. And then they're just going to Android in main phase 2. Sorry, sets the Yata, sets the Bottomless, adds some life points in end phase and passes. Draw for turn is a recharge. Yeah, so we're seeing 2 of the cards they would have milled off Card Trooper. It actually does make me think that they made the right decision, but not based on any evidence, maybe not based on any like, logical reasoning. So yeah, it looks okay though. So let's see this now. Heavy Storm's going to go off. Yato is going to draw into the Solemn, and they're going to lose the Bottomless. They're going to recharge the Celestia, so it picks up Soul and Raikou, Mills, JD and Cyber Dragon. So we know that the Mills off the Card Trooper, if they'd have Mill 3, would have been Decree, Recharge and Soul, and that would have meant their draw is Raikou. Yeah, that does actually look way better this way. Okay, sets the Raikou, sets the Decree and passes. Draw for turn is Honest. Alias coming down now. Yep. Android going to attack in, get rid of the Alias to avoid the damage. Mills there are Celestia, Herald and Beckoning. This is 3 fairies already, so if they get to a Kristya now, they're not far off. And they have the Soul, which they can potentially get engraved as well. Sets the Solemn, an M phase, going to hit them with the Decree. Yep, thumbs up, pass. Draw for turn is the Recharge. That's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, they're going to bring out the Soul. They're having to banish a JD there, though. That feels terrible. Yeah, that feels real terrible. I think, oh, the Raikou's a Lightsworn name. The rest of them are fairies. Yeah, it's probably right, but it doesn't feel great. Summon out the Plague now. They're going to use those for a Colossal Fighter. Colossal Fighter's going to get into this Android now. Yep, and it's going to pass it over. What's that Colossal actually? Oh, none of these are warriors. What have they got? They've got 1 warrior. Okay, so it's on 29. Yep. Pass, draw for turn is Ocean. They're going to Miracle Fusion now. Yeah, this makes a pretty oppressive Ab-Zero. Thunder King coming down as well. So, yeah, they're going to lose the Colossal Fighter. And then Thunder King Ride can get in for some damage. Pass, draw for turn is Beckoning. That's not helping at all. Okay, oh, that's some really rough mills off Card Trooper as well. Lila, Recharge, Charge. God, okay. I'm going to crash in now. Damage, they're going to use the Honest. They're going to get to pick up the Jane, which they can now recharge in main 2 for a Cold Wave and a Herald. Mills, Gauze and a Lumina. Okay, so let's just take stock of the graveyard now. So they've got enough Lightsworns. And where are they on fairies? They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fairies. So they're on for Kristya and JD at the minute. Wow. Okay. Okay. So JD going to try and come out now. Yeah, but the Ryo is going to negate it. And then the Ocean can come down. Yeah, that's going to get him for some damage. Pass. Draw for turn is the Lila. Yeah, you've got to go after this Ocean. Yeah, you can't let it see out the turn, otherwise they do just get... oh no, sorry, yeah, they've used it for material, right? Yeah, they've used the Alias for material, okay. Yeah, so they're going to Cold Wave now. Lila's going to get in. End phase, Mills, Honest. Yeah, Honest, Yata, Trap Dusty. It's a bit unfortunate they've hit another fairy. Because that now oversubscribes them for Kristya. But Lila's pretty good here. And Royal Decree is carrying. The actual Kristya draw is not terrible because they've got it with an orange light, but it isn't live in terms of ability to bring it out. Okay, just going to probably... Yeah, Plague's good here. Yeah, Plague, they can top deck the Trap. Bring the Plague out. They can Lila, hit the back row, finally get rid of that Solemn. They can Tribute Summon. Yeah, this is good for Kristya. Yeah, I'm not sure... yeah, I guess the worry is like, what, top deck Miracle Fusion? Because it's fairly live. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's fine. It just feels like, I don't know, I just really like the idea of like holding these two just to have the orange light negate. They're just going to set the jar, set the bluff, double jar. Pass, draw for turn, it's the Beckoning like we top decked. Gonna get him with the Kristya now. Set the orange light, set the Beckoning. Yeah. Thunder King gonna come out now. They're gonna see that's the orange light. That's a bit risky. If that's a Raikou there, which it, you know, totally could be. You've seen what, 2? 1 in grave, 1. Oh no, you've seen 1. 1 in grave. If that's a, like, Raikou, you're just dead there. I don't know. That doesn't feel like a smart move. Pass, draw for turn is the Jar of Greed. Just going to get over this Thunder King now. Yep, set that Jar of Greed and pass, draw for turn is Soul Release. And Wizzop is just going to scoop it up. Yeah, wow, cool. What a game. Yeah, I mean, so this like Diva Hero deck is pretty spicy, right? Diva Hero Pete. We've got like the Gemini stuff in there. We've got Thunder King. We've got Honest. We've got like some pretty cool cards in there. I don't know that this is good. I think it was cool to see like Captain Gold and the Skyscraper stuff. I thought that was really cool. But I'm not sure this is, you know, aggressive enough to compete versus some of the like top decks. And I would say that Lightsworn Kristya is, you know, it's a pretty aggressive deck. Lots of lines we saw in here. I mean, they at some points they were just, you know, waiting to draw into a JD or a Kristya or a Celestia, like some of their boss monsters, just to drop them and do a whole lot of damage. They just weren't getting to them quickly enough, and when they did come up, they had to kind of force it out this game 3. But either way, looked really impressive the whole way through. Royal Decree obviously carried here. One of the weakness to these draw traps is that, yeah, you know, some of these decks are going to side in Royal Decree. It's interesting that they're on draw traps and Decree, because they're kind of putting themselves out, and even on Gauze, because they are kind of, you know, stunting themselves with these. But, you know, Royal Decree is such a good card, especially against a deck that's as back row heavy as this one, that I don't really blame them for keeping it in and just seeing what happens. Really cool game though, 2 really high level players, and yeah, nice to see the Lightsworn variant win as the resident Edison Lightsworn fanboy over here.